Senator, good evening. Thank you
Good
for
evening.
the opportunity to come and talk to you tonight. One of the things that I've always been concerned about is the revitalization of the arts programs in school systems throughout the state. I have found that it seems to me that most times, anytime you have arts programs, you give children opportunities to be creative, be it band, be it choir, be it visual art, be it journalism, photojournalism, or whatever. What can we do to reestablish that and also incorporate PE and other aspects of theater as a program?
Well, in terms of the arts program, with the economic situation that we're dealing with now, your best help is going to come through your legislators who represent particular areas, House and Senate. What happened in the Senate, in the legislature was that we used to have all these different entities in the budget, and really, the legislature, I think, determined that they had kind of gotten out of hand. So what they decided to do was to take, cap that amount of money that was spent on all those things, and then be able to let legislators deal with things like we call service grants. So that if they put in that area, say, look, you're gonna get X amount of money for this area, then you gotta prioritize what you're trying to do in that area with that money. And then that's why I said legislators. And that's a good way to get that funded and to be able to continue funding by just simply providing proposals to them. You know, of course, if we had abundance of money, then of course it's a lot easier to put a line item in the budget. But where we are right now, that'll be the easier way to do that. When you say vocational school, that's one thing that I want to tell you all, that when we come back again at a point in time that we deal with bond issues for education, that's one of the things that I'm going to try to stress, that especially in the system, that they provide some kind of vocational training for people. Because everybody's not going to go to college. It's just not going to happen. And so we need to do that.
There's just some more general questions about education. I'm pleased to see that you said that pre-K was one of your priorities. In fact, you're talking about your efforts to reduce dropout rates. I think that pre-K is probably your best investment.
Oh, it is.
Reduce the dropout
It
rate.
is. I agree with you 100%. Where you going with that?
I want to make the recommendation to you and wonder what you thought about the idea of reducing the mandatory attendance age in the state of Alabama from 7 to at least 6 to try to get some of these kids in earlier, because based on my experience as a previous board member, I can tell you there are kids that are showing up at 7. And if you have a kid that shows up at 7, no kindergarten, you might as well just get ready for them to drop out someday, because they're not going to have any social skills to deal with the fact that they're sitting in a classroom with 20 other kids paying attention, and they're going to be academically behind all their peers. You're setting them up for failure. And so if we get them in a little earlier, now my preference would be 5, but I think 6 is more realistic since AASB supports 6. So that was a broad question, but 2 parts. What do you think about pre-K and what can be done this year, and what are your thoughts about lowering the mandatory attendance age?
If we can show from an economic standpoint now that it can be done based on the limited amount of funds, then I think that we can get it through. I don't have any problem with, I have a bill now that I'm getting ready to file that's requiring people to stay in school till they're 18. Right now it was 16, we moved it up to 17. I'm trying to keep them there until they're 18, because I want them to be able to get some training and not walking around out here not having something. If, you know, and if not, then of course it'll allow them to go to an alternative school where they still get the training if they don't stay in the high school. But they got to be educated. I don't have any problem with on the front end putting 6, what 7 is now. And I haven't even introduced it yet, because I was going to introduce it today. So it's ironic that I'm here and you said that. I could just get them to reprint that and put in there where it's got 7, just change the number to 6, and then we'll introduce it, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Well, you got to have that success at an early age, so you want to be there. Because if you don't want to be there, when you get old enough to leave, you're going to leave.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. All right. Wait a minute, got him, and then you.
You're so right about pre-K, but if we don't lose them there, I think we lose them in middle school. And one of the things that, if you don't mind me saying, that we did in New Orleans, that had some of the worst schools in the universe. We started aviation school in middle school, and we had 13 kids to get involved with that, and we ended with 13 kids. And they was learning physics and everything else, not knowing it. But I'm thinking that sometimes, since we have this shortfall with this money up here, we can look at other ways of saving these kids in the middle school by getting certain professional organizations to do what our organization did, whether it be accountants, engineers, or whatever it is, and have them go into middle schools and start a small class like that. It adds up and get kids interested in it and spend some time with them. Because once you do that with kids and they get interested in something, boy, they grab hold to it. As a matter of fact, we ended up with 13 kids finished, and one of the kids at 16 getting his pilot license. And we explained to them that everybody can't be a pilot. Well, we explained to them all the different ways you can make money, because that's what the interest is, to make money in the field of aviation. And so I'm just saying that there's some alternative way to that. It's not always to be money. We have to get other more people involved in this. And if we can put something together to get some of these professional organizations involved in the schools, especially in middle schools, because if we can catch them there, if they get excited, you won't have no problem with them in high school or dropping out.